Yo,
What up? What up?
what's poppin', man? What's going on?
Episode 214.
Yeah, damn, 214.
214,
Let's go,
man. Dude, I feel like 200 was like the other day.
Seriously, man, we've been rolling ever since, man. They seem to go fast. Every time I look at the note thing, I'm like, no, there's no way. And then I look at the week before, I'm like, fucking A.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome, man.
Yo, welcome back, everybody, to the Carpet Flipping Podcast. He is Juan and I'm Sean, and every week we get together, have a few drinks, talk about things going on in the world, try to focus on things making an impact, whether they be good, bad, or otherwise. Hit them with the drink of the day.
Yo, we got the BBS popping this week, man. First, I don't think we've done this one on here before. This has got to be a first.
I don't think so, but it's possible.
Yo, we're getting to that point now where I don't be remembering shit. There's so many.
Listen, we might repeat drinks sometimes.
Oh, for sure. No, we definitely do.
Right?
Yeah,
so,
but this week we got the brown sugar bourbon smash. Pretty simple. I think the hardest thing I had to do was make the simple syrup for it,
which is not hard.
No, it was a cup of brown sugar and a cup of water, and just simmer that, for a little bit. But I would suggest doing 2 cups of water and then 1 cup, because my syrup is thick as hell.
That shit was molasses.
Yeah, it really was. It's thick. It's like, man. But so in a shaker, you're gonna do a generous amount of mint leaves, maybe 5 or 6 mint leaves, an ounce of the brown sugar syrup. Muddle that, add ice, add 2 ounces of bourbon, about 3/4 ounce of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Shake it real well. Pour into a rocks glass filled with ice, and then garnish with a cracked mint and a lemon wedge if you want. I think we did lemon wedge and a cracked mint, and
yeah,
that's it. Straightforward. It's pretty good, man. I feel like I'm forgetting an ingredient now. Now I'm thinking,
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that's
it's good. It's delicious. It's a nice bourbon. It's a break from the old fashioned all the time, but still using the same kind of bourbon. And we did the Woodford double barrel, which is, Woodford is just good in general. Like a really simple, like it's a good mixer and it's actually good straight up. But yeah. So it's delicious, man. I like this. It's another way to have a bourbon, and it doesn't take a lot to make. So.
And don't judge us for those of you watching the video. Yes, the bottle is empty.
It sure is, but it is a smaller.
It's a half a bottle, and out of that we got 6 drinks out of it.
Yeah,
right.
We polished it. Yeah, 6 drinks. Yeah.
Did you crack it brand new, or was it already?
No, I cracked it brand new.
Oh, there you go. So it makes 6 drinks.
Yeah, so it makes it. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, because when I was doing the math, it's funny. That's what I thought. I go, oh, that's gonna be exactly enough. When I was, in true alcoholic fashion, like I know exactly how many ounces are in these things, what the recipe calls for. In sober phobic fashion, alcoholic sounds bad.
That's right.
So try that out, man. It's good. I like this. It's nice. It's like the right amount of sweet.
It's good,
and the right amount of tart. Yeah.
Yeah, and just be careful, because this is the one that, for whatever reason, man, it just goes down quick.
It is. It's like, I don't know if it's because it's sweet or juicy or the first one I was like, oh damn, that's gonna be tricky, and we paced ourselves. We did well.
I always do well, man. You be going overboard.
You don't live like I live, Sean. It's hard out here.
That's why we do it here, so you can fucking go crash.
It's hard out in these streets, man. You get the hot out.
All right, yo, Carpet Flipping of the week is going out to Addition Financial Credit Union.
Ooh, and that's a local thing to hear too, right? Central Florida, right?
Yes, I think it is local to here.
Okay.
They're opening up, so in Osceola County, they've opened up a new branch in the local high school, in Osceola High School.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know this, but it was the 3rd county campus branch opening for Addition. So they're really like, and I didn't, again, this is kind of things about this that I didn't know. So they've already opened up in Poinciana High School, also St. Cloud High School.
Okay.
The students run the branch.
Oh, that's cool. So you got the kids working as tellers and that. Oh, that's cool.
And some of them are paid, but then other ones are like interns.
My daughter's high school has a bank in it.
Really?
It's a credit union too. I just can't remember which one it is. Ooh, I want to say it might be Additions. We can look it up, but it's
the paper that I read this on was like a local paper, so they didn't mention, but they did mention that they one of the, I don't know if it's not the stadium, maybe it's the Performing Arts Center in UCF. Isn't it called Addition?
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I know that they're definitely on campus.
Because they used to be CFE, right? Central Florida Educators Credit Union, and then I
didn't know that, bro. But I did read that that this bank was actually started by educators. I
had a loan with them back in the day.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were started by educators.
Okay.
And so obviously the not only the work experience, but also the financial literacy that these students are gaining.
That's cool,
by being part of this financial institution.
I didn't realize it was run by I've seen it on the campus at my daughter's school. It's in like the cafeteria. It has its own little almost room in the cafeteria. Okay. But I didn't know the details to it. It was closed when I was there. But I remember just looking at it going like, oh, cool, that have a bank in here? And wondering like, I wonder if that's for the teachers because of business hours. But that's really neat, man.
Yeah, it's cool. So the president and CEO, the guy's name is Kevin Miller. He said, and I quote, he's like, teachers founded our credit union more than 85 years ago, and we're proud to honor that commitment by supporting students in education today, giving students a hands-on opportunity to understand how financial institutions operate, help serve our mission, and bring financial education and success to everyone. So I thought that was really cool, man. Like, and they're also a not-for-profit institution.
Yeah, the credit unions tend to be like
are they all
run.
Like that?
They all tend to be like sort of member
I'm part of a credit union as well,
yeah.
man. But I didn't know they're not for profit.
Yeah, they're supposed to be basically. That's why you get like better interest rates and that sort of thing from the credit unions because they're like supposed to be like member managed amongst the people, the holders of the accounts there and all that are. And their charter's a little different than banks, but. Usually they are nonprofits. I forget. There's like one big differentiator. I should know this, but I'm drawing a blank off the top of my head now. That's kind of cool, man. And it's real life practical experience. Not only just learning financial, dude. If you learn just money, it's amazing how it changes your perception on even how to make it. But if you just nerd out on learning about money, like the whys and the like what it's pegged against, with gold versus, that kind of stuff. And you start going down a rabbit hole, man, you really do start to find it easier to make it because it's almost like the more you understand it, make it and keep it and make a stretch for that sort of thing. It's like just the education of that is so important, and it's something that we don't do, I think, enough. So it's cool to hear these guys doing that, like. Yeah, and also, man, all the kids selling weed and shit in school, and they can just go and deposit right away.
Well, we did say Osceola High School and Poinciana High School, so I was like,
the little local dope dealer can just go make a deposit. He won't get robbed on the way home. It's a win-win for everybody.
Dude, it's funny too, man. Like, so two of my boys are turning 18 in a few months.
Yeah.
And talking about now of just like, okay, like these guys need like credit, right? Like they're like that. So like, what do you do for an 18-year-old kid? Is it, do you get him his first credit card so he can start building his credit? Do you get a credit card like under my name and then, they're a user and then they can kind of build? Cause there's that shit too, right? Where they can build credit. I think it's a little slower, but it's essentially sort of safer for the banks and better interest rates because it's under my name.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Again, kind of playing around and looking at things and ideas.
I've been thinking about that lately. My daughter. Like I've been thinking about that lately for her too because she's like getting to that age. Like and like one of the things I thought of was like, oh, I'll add her as an authorized user to one of my credit cards, like I said, because it'll start helping build her credit and but it's like giving that financial literacy and stuff that like some of us did have parents who were really good at managing that kind of stuff, and you kind of watched what they did, and then some people didn't. So it's like you want to be able to at least pass on what you know, and then hope that they get better than you at that stuff. So I just don't understand why schools don't teach that shit more, or just.
Dude, I want to say my kid's high school started it like this year, like a financial literacy course. I know my youngest son took it in. He was doing virtual school last year.
Oh, okay.
And he took a financial literacy course, and it was cool, man, because like the assignments he would get was like, yo, you have a job and you make this much money and you need to go rent a place, so go find one. You need a car, you need, you got to pay electricity, you got to do that. And so they would give him an option where it was like, you could live by yourself, but if you live by yourself, you got to pay all the rent. If you get a roommate, you pay, whatever. You get a 2-bedroom, you pay half. But it was funny, like watching my son go through those assignments because he was taking it seriously, and he goes, "I don't want to live with nobody."
And then he figured out what it's gonna take.
And he goes, "Oh shit! Like I'm not gonna be able to eat.
It's expensive. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ramen
like
noodles
that,
forever. Yeah.
Right." And so those kind of things, man, it was really cool just to let them go through that, and so hopefully things like this, you know, these bank branch openings, man, will help those students do exactly that, man.
And help them get real life work experience, financial literacy, that sort of thing. Yeah, there's a lot of positives with that, man. That's super cool. Yeah, but the amount of adults that don't know how their income taxes work is baffling to me. Because like I want to know how the fuck my money works. Like you're taking it from me. Like I want to know why and where and how much, and you know, like, and it just still blows my mind the amount of people who don't know the difference between a deduction and a credit, and it's like, and like you want to be judgmental, but at the same time you can't because we don't teach it. Like it's just like not something that they emphasize in school or bother teaching.
And it feels like it should be common sense as you get older, but not everybody, right? Sometimes people just go to, you know, back in the day, you'd have to go into like H&R Block, and then you didn't know what the fuck the guy was talking about, and you just did it. Yeah. You know, he just did it for you, or you know, and even now where we have the online stuff like the TurboTax and the Tax Act and all that kind of those kind of software programs that pretty much do it for you.
It does it for you, yeah.
But you'd be surprised how many folks are actually scared to use those things.
It literally asks you questions that you should know the
answer.
Oh,
it walks you through the whole thing.
And then it explains shit to you. Like, it's dummy proofs it as much as it can. For most people with very basic incomes, like you have a job, you know, you get a W-2, whatever. It's just like, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But it's baffling, and our education system doesn't teach that. It's like the thing you're going to use. It's something practical that you're going to put into use. Meanwhile, it's
forever.
Bro, I was with my daughter for hours last night trying to figure out how to calculate the fucking degrees and an angle and all this stuff. Something she's never going to use in her life unless she becomes an engineer. Right. You know, it's like, and a lot of her homework is shit like this, where we're working on geometry and all stuff. And I'm like, cool, like, yeah, learn that.
Yeah, but not really.
But also, yeah, 0 classes on financial literacy or 0 classes. Like, hey, yeah, you know what's going to matter more than this? It's like, interest rates and you know what drives that. And it's insane. So yeah, shout out to them. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. All right, what you got?
Bro, I struggled back and forth with picking one this week. And I think and it was because I think everything that I was thinking about we've done before, at least in some sort of capacity. But I wound up with Bad Bunny.
Okay.
Just because of and the same thing as last time, I think that we gave it to Bad Bunny was a lot of stuff. It was, and I think last time we gave it to him was more of like someone who was living their life in a way that we like a 10-year-old us would have been like, fuck, if I get to grow up and do that. You know, like when he was wrestling and he was doing all this shit, we were like, and just like the joy that he exhibited doing these kinds of things. We're like, man, fucking 10-year-old us, if you told us we could go and be on a WWE and do all this stuff. And then how he would just unapologetically, you know, like just all in on something like that. And it was really cool. And this time, there was like several things, man. I've been listening to his new album. It's fucking awesome. It's so good.
I have to get on it. I haven't heard it.
So good, man. It's like the best way I can describe it. It's like it's a love letter to Puerto Rico, and like, and he has been like, people outside of Puerto Ricans are probably not gonna like this, and I think they will. I don't think that's necessarily true. There may be some things about it. Maybe the music style won't click for everybody, but like, and it almost like did like a it almost reinvigorated sort of like my love for like my culture and my people and that sort of like because like in it it's like a salsa album and it's a reggaeton album and it's bomba and it's plena and it's fucking, you know, paranda music and it's you know, like it's still reggaeton, it's still trap, it's still, you know, like it's still Spanish pop, it's still like. But there's songs in there where you go, it takes you to like a moment in time, like, oh fuck, I remember my mom cleaning the house to something that sounded like that. Oh, I remember being with my family and my grandparents and, you know, like them listening to stuff like that. And maybe it's like the old ballads that they would play and everybody would sing along because they had too much to drink already and everyone's like in their feels. Like it just brought me to like a time like that. And it just reminded me of like, oh man, like a lot of us from the island lived those same moments. Yeah. And it was cool to see that, like, someone put that out like commercially, where you're just like, oh, you guys are just listening to that old shit that like it was like just really cool, like it's like super nostalgic. And then, you know, obviously we know he's become like just massive, like a massive superstar now.
Oh, yeah, definitely, cool. Man.
He's doing the first ever residency in Puerto Rico at the Coliseo in Puerto Rico. And what he's doing is there are certain nights, and I think it's like the first month of this residency or the first 2 weeks maybe. I think maybe the whole residency is a month or 6 weeks or something like that. And a good portion of the first part of it, I think it's half, it's only for residents. So only residents can buy tickets. So he's like, I want to make sure that my people get, but then also I want the outside world to come in, come to Puerto Rico and do, you know, and come experience what we have to experience. And you're going to get the full fucking gamut of all our music styles. And then, dude, the artists, you could go down the list, not big artists. They're like a lot of local musicians, really? A lot of, you know, it's so cool. And then you're just, dude, I'm fucking listening to that shit in my car. I'm getting hyped. I'm like clapping and shit. I'm like, give me the Guido. I'm gonna start playing, you know. Like, it's fucking, it's so fun. But doing this residency, it's like, man, the amount of commerce that you're gonna bring onto the island.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because people are gonna want to see you. Because
you change economies, bro.
You change exactly. And that was my whole thing. I was like, I think we were talking about this on here not that long ago, where I was complaining, saying that if I ever run for office, it's gonna be for governor of Puerto Rico because it's fucking infuriating. And I go, look at someone. This is someone who has a platform, who's become an international superstar, who's like constantly giving back to Puerto Rico. Like even dropped this album, biggest album right now, I think #1 in like several charts, you know, like in pop and in Latin music and all this stuff. And then he's still performing for free out on the street in Puerto Rico like every fucking night for like the last few weeks. Like, and he's on Jimmy Fallon, and then he brings Jimmy Fallon to Puerto Rico and they're doing parandas down the street. Like, it's just like,
that's dope.
He's like just constantly just giving back and doing shit and just like not. And then the ticket prices to the show, even the ones where it's outsiders, are the fucking so reasonable.
I was gonna say it's not crazy.
The most expensive ticket, VIP treatment, it's $250.
Get the fuck
and if you're
out
anybody who buys tickets to a concert ever, you will know $250 is
puts you in the nosebleeds.
It puts you in the nosebleeds, and any other show anywhere else in a stadium that can fill 60,000 people, and he's doing it in a Coliseum that it's big, it's not that big, and he's the most expensive ticket in the entire thing is $250, and that gives you like fucking, you're sitting basically in front of the stage and thing. So it's like he's doing that. He's never been greedy about the ticket sales. He still goes. He's been performing, I think, since then on the streets like every night. He's just throwing concerts, performing the whole fucking album, and just going in, and then the people are still gonna go watch him because of that,
right?
Like there's like he's just like, I'm just giving you this for free. I'm giving you the performance, and then people will still go spend their hard-earned money to watch him in Puerto Rico in the Coliseum because they're like, yo, this is our guy, and he is
getting the love over there in Puerto Rico.
Bro, he walks in Puerto Rico with no security. He does these concerts where he'll take a crane that'll put him on top of a gas station in the middle of the hood. And he'll have a DJ and a speaker and a mic, and he'll just throw a whole concert in the whole fucking neighborhood, the whole hood. People, and word gets out, half the island makes its way over. And you'll see the aerial shots of these things, and it's thousands of people in the streets filling, and they're fucking singing and they're jumping and they're thinking, and he does that shit all of the time, and they just have so much love for him because of that.
That's like amazing.
So that guy, he's so beloved. But I think to be at that level, and I think just bring this awareness of the culture, the people, the album, and the other thing that was cool, and a lot of the lyrics sort of allude to this, and I think this is a lot of it's also like, you know me, man, I'm like a music, like I just love music. I'm infatuated with everything about it. I'm obsessed. The name of the album, it's Debería tirar más fotos, which basically translates to I should have taken more pictures. And so it's like, it's not, it's part of it is like, I should take more pictures. And there's like these moments in Puerto Rico and doing stuff, but it's like also just moments with like, it could be a family member, it could be, you know, a love interest, could be, you know, it's like the whole thing is basically, and even the song is like, he's taking you through all these things. He's like, man, I want to remember that. I should have taken more, you know, it's just, and it's such a cool, like, again, you just get into it, and you're just, and I saw like it was trending. A lot of people started putting these like montages of all these photos, of like maybe it was their whole childhood, or maybe it was like all these family gatherings, and people, and the thing became like you put the song and you put the photo, the montage of the photos in, and I saw like that trending a lot like during that. Dude, and I think the cool part about that, it was trending, and I saw equally as many non-Puerto Ricans, and I'm talking like white people, black people, doing it, and the song is in Spanish with those montage, and you know, as I saw Puerto Ricans doing the same thing, so it was like it transcended like Puerto Rico, you know, so it's cool, awesome, man. Dude. And I think very few artists have that impact. Like Daddy Yankee's massive, right? Massive. One of the first artists to make it out of Puerto Rico, put reggaeton on like a global scale. And I don't know, and he will sell out the Coliseum. He'll do crazy shit, you know, obviously. But I don't know that Daddy, and it's hard to argue, right? Because he took reggaeton, I think, out of Puerto Rico and made it mainstream. But I don't know that he has the cultural moments like the way we have now. And maybe the argument would be we wouldn't have this moment without Daddy Yankee, and that's probably
true, yeah.
And that's probably very fair. But like I can't think of an artist that's had like a bigger impact just all around. And this is coming from somebody who was a hater. Remember, I was making fun of Bad Bunny when we first started this podcast. Like I was a hater, and he's completely like turned around my perception of him. Yeah, man. Like he got me. So fucking like I just thought it was cool, man. I even like my kids have been listening to it, and I put them onto like some songs about it, and you like it, and even they have, you know, like asked questions about it. Like they don't understand Spanish the whole way, but so it's just been a cool experience. And I haven't been this excited about listening to like a piece of art in a long time. I think that was the other part of it. Yeah,
dude, that I guess just reminded me, man. So a couple of days ago, we went to. My wife and I took our boys to see snow. So you know we had the whole winter blast. Now we're in Florida, right? So it wasn't. It's colder here right now, but never really snows in Florida. But there's this winter blast coming that was really affecting the South. So we took we sort of like timed it perfectly. Got an Airbnb about 4 hours north of here in Tifton, Georgia. Went up there. It did snow. We got about 4 to 5 inches, man. So it was like, and the Airbnb that we rented, fucking big backyard. We were able to fucking play in it and throw snowballs and whatever. Well, my son goes, and this is I'm kind of tying it into the Bad Bunny with the take the photos, right? And take the photos really is like you don't want to remember. You don't want to forget those moments.
You don't want to forget that feeling, the moments. Yeah.
My son tells me at one point he goes, Papa, I hope, he goes, I'm mostly afraid that when I remember coming here, I'm not going to remember what this feeling is like. That feeling of grabbing the first snow and making my first snowball. Like that feeling of actually running around in the backyard and falling in the snow and like not getting hurt because it's like a fucking pillow.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I told him, and I go, dude, that's very like insightful.
It's a profound thing to say in that moment, bro. Man, from a 17-year-old kid. Yeah.
It's wild. So I told him, and I go, dude, I'm glad you said that really early on. I go, when you go outside next time, and I was like, really take it in when you're making a snowball, like fucking feel it, like grab some snow off the ground and fucking eat it. You know, like know what
everything.
Know what it feels like, know what it tastes like, know what it smells like, know what it feels like, right? Like all of that. And he did, and we took a ton of pictures, obviously, man. But going back to Bad Bunny, right? Like take the photos. I think it's a lesson for all of us.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yo, really enjoy the moments of your life and take the pictures, and not only that, like keep a fucking journal. Like do those things, whether it's a written journal. Or whether it's now you know a voice journal, whatever the hell it is, it's cool. It will be really cool to look back at those things over time and really like get that feeling back of, oh, I remember what this felt like when I was here, or when I met this person, or when I was on this vacation, on this trip, or this work thing, or whatever the case is.
Dude, I think. To add to that, it's one of the things I really liked about the album was that there were certain songs, because of the style, right? Like if you had a salsa song, and in a specific style, it took me back to like, oh, I remember the feeling I had listening to something similar. And it could be like, I remember the feeling waking up on a Saturday and I can hear my mom listening to Mark Anthony, and you know, like right. It was like, it took me back to
was
that.
Was she cleaning?
Yeah, of course, bro. Every Latina mom angry on a Saturday morning cooking to some salsa, right?
Right.
And or cleaning to some salsa, and then it was like, and then there'd be like another song, and it took me back to like, you know, in my grandmother's kitchen, and I could smell what she was cooking, and and it was like, and I think that's what it did for me. It was like, I was like, oh shit, I can feel this song almost like in a sense.
Yeah.
And you're so right, man. And I wish that was something I figured out earlier in life, man. This is like one of those things where it's like, as I've gotten older, I've and I think it took me looking at photos once, oddly enough, of a trip I took, and looking at those photos and going, I don't remember that.
Oh, okay.
And what I did remember was, man, I remember looking at everything I was looking at through the lens of my phone. And I remember, because I was so kind of like, I want to capture this photo. And then I remember, like, to your son's point, man, which I said is so profound, going, I don't remember the feeling I had when I was there. I don't remember. I was looking at it through this lens. I was so worried about getting this photo because I wanted to document this thing of being here that I forgot to like enjoy it. And as I've gotten older, I think it's like I've had moments with people or you know, like just in general or doing stuff where it's just like I have to remind myself, like, I want to sit and take this in because like I hope I never forget this. I hope I never forget like the feeling I had in this moment. I hope I never forget what this smelled like. I hope I never forget like like that stuff, man. And that's why I was like, it's cool to recognize that then, because I think it took me to like 30 years old to go like, man, I want to stop and really soak this in because I want to remember. Like I want to, and for me, it was that moment of looking through those photos going, that was a place that I had been dying to visit, and I was so excited, and I was thinking, I'm like, and I don't remember the feeling. And I remember being so excited about being there, and then I couldn't give you a memory of it that was like a feeling, a reaction, something that I felt like I saw through my own eyes. It was all like I could just remember through the lens of the phone. Yeah, and it was like, and
it sucks, man. Yeah, it's that fine line of I want to take enough pictures so I remember, but I also want to be in the moment. So I think that's kind of where the balance comes in, man. You got to almost stop yourself to go like, okay, I took some pictures. I'm putting the phone away, and then now I'm just
because there are moments too where I go, I wish I had a photo of that.
Yeah, fuck yeah,
man. For sure. Like I was like,
you want to get everything.
You want to get everything. You want to document. And I remember I went through a phase there where I like, would just have a camera strapped to me and just like, oh fuck it, I'll record it and then chop it up to a bunch of photos later or something. And maybe I was like, I did this in London where like. I took a lot of photos.
I remember you had the thing.
I just let it record and I just wore it and then afterwards I was able to take a bunch of stills and it was great photos. But I remember what that felt like. I remember it was cold outside and I remember it was unusually warm one day. And I remember like it was like, and I remember seeing things and what that felt like and hearing the sounds and like that sort of thing. And like I felt better about that because I can get the feeling of it. It's so dude, I think, I want to see what like sort of he goes from here. Like after this residency he does this summer, it's made me almost like I want to go. Like now I'm going like, man, I fucking feel like I have to go to Puerto Rico.
So when is it? So is it going on now?
This summer? No, it'll be this summer. Oh, so it's like July. It'll be hot as fuck in Puerto Rico. But, and like part of me. Obviously I can't get in when it's only residents or unless I get like somebody local to buy it from me or something maybe. I don't even know how that works. But the other part of me is like, no, fuck it, I'll go in the tourist time or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's almost like I want to experience what that's like there right now, what that feeling is like. Like I'm like, man, I would love, like I'm watching the videos and everything of doing stuff. I'm like, man, what's Puerto Rico like right now with that? What's it like when he is performing outside and like the middle of these neighborhoods and all this stuff, and it's like, and thousands of people show up, but it's like, how cool is it what's the energy and the vibe like in the city that night when he's performing in that arena, and like you have all these people that are coming.
But those fucked up is that you won't know, like the whole like performance is out in the fucking top of a gas station. He just shows up, right? So you'll never know.
You just have to be there and then go and then watch it online, and he goes viral because like, oh fuck, Bad Bunny's here, and then people start to show up. It's like,
bro.
And also that's part of the mystique. It's kind of cool, right? Like it's like it's part of the mystique of like people know that he could just pull up at any moment, and it's just been so wild to see how many times he's done it over the last, because you're going, dude, you have this album, how many people will be like, oh, I'm not gonna perform for, and he's just always done this, and then like to do it now on top of this like this level of superstardom that he's sort of reached, that he's just like, nah, fuck it, I and I think he says, he's like, I never want to leave here, it's just like these are my people, I always want to give back, I want to, so it's like it's just really cool to see. And then the love that the people have given him back is cool to see as well, because we talk on here about how people will be quick to build you up and then break you down, and I'm sure something will happen at some point in time where people will be like, what a dick face, and then whatever, but like for now it's like, enjoy the ride, man, because it's been so cool we haven't had an artist I think do this for the island in a very long time. And then not even just in music, man, because he's been doing the wrestling thing, he's been getting into movies now, he's been doing all that stuff, but I think people there need to see that there is a possibility of what outside of of doing what he's done. Because a lot of the people that have gotten famous that are Puerto Rican have been, like moved to New York and gotten, and, did that sort of thing, and you don't see many reach mainstream success from the island straight to Hollywood, quote unquote, right? Right. And he has, and I think it's important for people to see that it's possible in any capacity.
And the fact that he's doing that, he seems very sort of like attainable, right? Like it's like you can you can see him, you can touch him, you know what I mean? Like he's real. He's not like this person you just see on TV. Like the guy was in my neighborhood yesterday.
Right.
And we've always said things on here where it's like exposure is everything.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. So yeah, if you're a Puerto Rican, fucking listen to it. I promise you, it's gonna take you back to a point in time. Something in there will. And if you're not, I think if you're curious about just even the style of music, there's and I don't want to stay on this too long, but there's like bomba is a style of music that was brought over by the African slaves when Puerto Rico was colonized, and the African slaves and the local indigenous people used it as a form to like communicate with one another, to like throw signals of like, hey, we're about to bust out tonight and do this thing, and we're gonna, or like, hey, it's not safe over here, or like was like, it started as that, and then it became like music, it's like, so it's cool to see these and if you're not from there, I guess you've heard this and you don't realize what it is, but if you're not from there, it probably doesn't, it's something that you would never hear. But to like, I don't know, if you're someone that you're like, man, this came from enslaved people to colonized, indigenous folks to, superstar, like just to see like the I guess the progression of what like a style of music is done over the course of hundreds of years there. And there's like multiple styles in there. And it's funny because I'm not even sure that I completely comprehended over time, like every style of music that I heard. And then as you go through like this album, but what I've noticed is like, oh yeah, that's different. Oh yeah, that's different. Oh yeah, that's different. And then you even start to realize like, oh wow, this is sort of a build off of this because it came from these people at this point, and how people have sort of like done their own thing to it over time. And then,
so basically you just geeked out on the whole shit.
I did, man, like a fucking nerd, bro. I was like, and my dumb ass, like I'm so obsessed with like music thing that I'll pick up on like the various instruments, like who the fuck uses that instrument anymore? And then who like, it's just like, who uses bongos in a fucking reggaeton song? And then, like, who busts out a guiro? And it's just like it's so cool, man. Like I again, just to see it and then like recognize like moments with my family, at like gatherings and stuff like in it, where
like you said, it brings
with
back
the old heads, with the fucking 80-year-olds at the domino table busting out, their music that you're like, bro, that shit, there's not even a CD of that anywhere, that shit is an 8-track, and then you hear somebody put it out like that, you're just like, oh, that's
I was gonna
cool.
say, man, there's something about and maybe this is a lot of different ethnicities, man, but in the Hispanic community, like old Spanish music hits forever. Yeah, like if it was a hit, it's a hit. It's like it's just a hit forever.
It's a hit forever. Yeah. And I think to your point, there's something to be said for that. Like in all styles, like there's a lot of like 50s, 60s like jazz things or like rock or like it's funny, man. We still talk about Led Zeppelin and the Beatles and that stuff like that's like timeless. Yeah. And yeah, to your point, there's a lot of old songs like that'll be like some fucking dude in a banjo, and it'll be like the most depressing. We call it the cortavena, and in Puerto Rico, be like, give me a cortavena. That's like, give me the sad ballad, and it's like, and the shit still slaps. It's like fucking 70 years old, and you're like, that shit still slaps, and you're in your feels.
That's dope, man. Shout out to the Bad Bunny, man. Keep doing your thing. It is definitely appreciated. Yo, let's talk about Trump, man. Trump is in office.
Yeah.
Inauguration on MLK's birthday. Yo, at least what we'd celebrate.
He renamed it, bro. MAGA Luther King.
I thought you were going to say Liberation Day.
Awfully optimistic of you.
I should have known better.
Yo, all I'm saying is like I heard he got inaugurated like Monday, right?
Monday,
and then like that same day, I heard Disney was thinking about making a live action Rapunzel, and they were gonna put Sabrina Carpenter to be the Rapunzel, and I was like, yo, 15 minutes in, we got a white Disney princess again. Let's fucking go. We're back, baby.
So are they gonna change Splash Mountain back to the?
Oh yeah, Splash Mountain is coming back. The bears are coming back. All the racist shit's coming back in. Elon Musk is designing all of the attractions now.
Dude, what the hell happened with Elon with the whole like?
He's on the Holocaust committee now.
No fucking way, man. I didn't fucking. Let me tell you, man. I did see it, and I'm sure a lot of you saw it.
Yeah. The fucking salute. Yeah, for those who didn't see it, Elon did the fucking the Hell Hitler,
like the Nazi
salute.
Fucking,
Yeah.
But dude, I watched like the entire clip, and yeah, it is like he pounds over his heart, and then he kind of puts his hand straight out.
Yeah.
But to me, so he does it to the crowd. He turns around and does it again to, I guess, the flag. I don't know what the fuck is behind him.
I think there's a crowd. There's another.
Oh, there's a crowd behind him.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
That's to both people.
He does it to the crowd. And then he turns back around to the podium and he puts his hand back over his heart. And he's like, my heart goes out to all of you.
Yeah.
And that's what I think that's what he was doing.
People don't play the whole clip. They just play
the
part
man. It's just like they play this shit with no volume.
Yo, this is what happens when you fucking force an autistic person to be social.
Bro.
That's what fucking happens.
That's the fucking the next race of humans, bro. What are you talking about?
Bro, I hope they let Elon.
He's an advanced human.
I hope they let him talk at everything, bro. Yo, and then I love how when they brought it up, I think the initial excuse of his was like, oh, it's a Roman salute or something like that. It's like a Roman greeting. And I was like, bro, the Romans killed the #1 Jew. That's probably the worst example.
Oh, I forgot about that. Goddamn.
I was like, yo, backtrack. It's a horrible example, Elon.
Dude, but getting back to that Trump shit, did you see he did this whole, like this, maybe his team or whatever, did this video. I gotta find it, bro. I gotta show it to you. This White House, it's called White House Senior Living.
Stop.
And it's a video trolling Biden, bro.
Oh, it's still?
And then
still fucking with
and then in the video, Biden is looking like he's in like a home. He's talking about eating ice cream, and he's looking, he's fucking falling asleep. And then it goes at the very end. It's like a White House Senior Living where residents feel like presidents.
That's amazing.
But dude, so he did a bunch of shit now, right?
Oh my God.
Did he sign a bunch of shit into?
Yeah. We get into JFK and the Martin Luther King files, which we know. Martin Luther King was killed by the FBI. JFK was killed by the CIA. We're just gonna get the fucking.
What did he give me? I don't know what.
So he basically signed that. I think within 30 days and 45 days, depending on which of the things is MLK files have to be released, JFK files have to be released, RFK files have to be released. Some others, and there's one more in there basically of these murders. He's like, yo, there's no national security reason or whatever. So he basically signed an executive order that the people should know about what happened with these things.
Oh wow.
He signed. There was another one. Basically, like these departments of efficiency. Like, hey, y'all doing all this bullshit. Figure it out. But it was like no how you do it. It's just like, yo, you guys are working inefficiently at doing this stuff. Like, y'all gonna have to go figure it out. I think he got rid of a lot of the DEI shit. He put them on.
He put them on like leave or some shit.
Yeah, just
right?
fucking. They're all laid off. He'll probably move them to other departments or whatever. It was a busy first day, bro. Didn't it pardon some people?
Didn't he do the deporting of illegal aliens?
Yeah. Do we talk about Elon aliens or we talk about
both?
Yo, maybe Elon's trying to send the Jews to Mars. Did y'all think about that? Maybe he is anti-Semitic.
Dude. But you know what's funny, man? That whole like the deporting, like the what do we call them? Illegal aliens, migrants, fucking whatever the fuck, right? When you put I always feel like, man, when you put a name around a group of people, whether you're calling them illegal aliens, whether you're calling them migrants, a lot of us or a lot of humans will go, I don't know, not one migrant. You can deport all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the old joke from like Cat Williams, right? Where he goes like insurgents. Yeah. He's like, I ain't got not one friend insurgent. You can kill all of them.
All of them. Yeah. Dude, it's like you use that word and then you disassociate immediately. The humanity of it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you like you have to humanize things to us, and if we don't look at it as a human thing, we're just like, fuck it, doesn't affect us. Go. Yeah.
It's almost like animals or fucking trees. They just go like, oh, you're gonna cut them down? Like, yeah, go. I don't care.
That sucks.
Oh, you're gonna build me a house there? Great.
Dude, we do that for everything though. Like I think we it's why I find it, and ties to this whole shit. Like, you know, the internet's fucking going ape shit about Trump and fucking this is horrible and we've set the country back 100 years. And it's like, it's funny to watch how people humanize certain things and not others, because you know, we've talked about this on here before. Our cell phones are made by fucking children in factories. The battery that runs our cell phone are made by people in awful human conditions, and we know this.
We don't give a fuck.
We don't give a fuck, bro. We're just like, it's like, oh, but it's not trendy to give a fuck about that, and so it's okay. I can sort of disassociate myself because I don't see a video of these people making, you know, digging for cobalt, and I don't see, you know, like the kids snapping together my phones, and I don't see. So we sort of like, and also I'm not gonna go look for it because I can be like you can be ignorant to it if you just don't, you pretend like it doesn't exist, and we do this with fucking everying.
Ignorance is bliss, bro.
Shit, yeah, bro. And then we nitpick on the shit that's like that we think is important. So it's like, you know, you got people going off about fucking about the Elon Musk thing. Last week we were fucking complaining. We were like taking the side of Gaza, right? like and complaining about that shit. And it's like, oh wait a minute, are you fucking anti Gaza or Palestine or or like the Jews or what? Like, it's just like whatever's trendy this week, or it's like the rhetoric changes just to fit the narrative of like, oh, Elon must hate this group of people, and then you make it fit like whatever narrative you think in your head,
right?
Even though the position you had last week was contradictory to that. It's like, it's really weird how we disassociate ourselves. It's like we dehumanize like everything, man.
So the other thing he said that I saw him say was moving forward, like there's two genders. There's male and female. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah. He was like, we're going to simplify this.
When you get two boxes again. Thank you. That shit was getting confusing.
So what's the funny shit?
That shit would make me think. But it was like, are you male, female? And then they had like 4 other options. I was like, well, fuck. Does this help me?
So fucking on, I think this is on X. Maybe it's on Instagram. I don't know. Caitlyn Jenner goes, congratulations, Mr. President. Thanks be to God. And then Lil Duval posts, bruh, you got to change your name back. President's orders.
I love Duval, yo.
Yo, that shit had me dying. I just go like, what does that mean now?
President's
You know, like we've gotten to this space, man, right, where there's almost like this endless amount of genders.
Yeah, it's fucking
right.
Wild,
so that's like, what does that mean now? This is it's only the beginning.
Yeah,
we'll see what the next 4 years.
I'm just curious to see what it's like in 2 months, 3 months. Yep. You know, like I know eggs aren't cheaper yet, and gas and all that shit.
Yo, what's going on with the eggs, bro?
Fucking eggs like $9 now.
Yeah, bro. I'm about to go buy me a chicken.
Yeah, you might be better off, bro, just getting an actual chicken.
Get a couple chickens, get a rooster.
Yeah. Dude, I think no matter where you fall in it, you got to be rooting for positive things. Like, you got to want us to be better off no matter what. I don't care who gets the win. I want the win to mean I win. Yeah, it's like the divide. It's again, and it's also really funny coming from, like, you see a lot of like left leaning people now getting like real whiny and grind. And it's like, hey, you guys were crying for the last 4 years about January 6th and about the peaceful transfer of power and da. Like, so stop being cucks now and you're being sore losers about the whole shit. Like, just fucking, you lost. Move on, bro. Go do better. Like the next election. Fucking go back to the drawing board. And that, but even the Elon thing, man. It look awkward. It look a little weird. Sure,
but he is a little awkward. He is a little
fucking weird. Have you ever heard him talk at all? Like,
he is.
But also, and then again, maybe this is me. Like, I could, if I hated Elon Musk, I could easily use this, right, and run off and make a case for why he's a piece of shit, right? And so maybe, like, I'm biased in that sense. But I also, like, I'd like to think that, like, if you look at his history, he's never done anything to make me think he hates Jews. He's never done anything to make me think that he, like, worships the Nazi party. He's never done anything else. It's like, what he has done is, like, he's fucking socially awkward. He's really weird on interviews. He's really weird, you know, like, as at giving press conferences. He's, you know, it's like, you gave that guy alcohol, fucking crowd, and he's so excited, it's uncomfortable. Like, how excited he is during that speech and how he bounces around and how he's like, I'm like, yo, Elon must have been going to jail or something that like he must have had money.
Yeah.
He had a parlay that Trump would sweep or something, bro, because he's so fucking happy that I can't figure out why he's that excited.
You know what's funny, man? Like when I watch him, I'm not really surprised by anything that he says or does, right? 'Cause I've been kind of watching him for a long time.
Yeah.
If you're new, right? If you were, let's just say you're a Trump supporter, and then you're kind of new to Elon.
Yeah.
And you don't even really know what he does. You just know that he's like the Tesla guy.
Yeah.
I could see somebody going like, "Oh, this guy's fucked up."
Oh, yeah, but also I think if you're new to, I don't know how you watch that human being and go, there isn't something a little off about him, which is what makes him him.
But if you don't know that he has Asperger's, right? Like if you don't know that about him, then you go, oh, like you said, there's something off about it. Like what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Like why is Trump putting him up in front of a mic?
Yeah, I mean, I think you need a little Asperger's to fucking put people on the moon, bro, and do all the shit.
You,
that
man,
he's done.
the next version of humans, bro.
The better, dude. What if the Asperger's is the evolved human? It is the next fucking
that's
level of human. like I don't care what anybody says. That motherfucker is leaps and bounds ahead of the average human being in terms of intelligence. And you go. The one thing that shocked me about Elon, as someone who has watched a lot of shit, is I've never seen him enthusiastic about anything. Even fucking putting people into space. Like we've made
it's all very matter of fact.
It's matter of fact. That was exactly what I was going to use. It's like you and I have geeked out on here and laughed about how he'll be on Joe Rogan and be like so matter of factly tell you about like, yeah, you got to create a nuclear explosion. And then
for the sun for Mars.
And he's so fucking nonchalant about it. And you're like, bro, back up. Did you just say nuclear explosion on Mars? And he's just like, yeah, like you do that and you change the atmosphere, whatever. Right. And he talks about it like it's fucking like, hey, yeah, you got to crack the egg, like it's just so normal to him. The enthusiasm that he has shown for the Trump win, I'm like really perplexed and also curious to like, all right, where is this going? What are we going to find out of why Elon is so fucking excited? Like, did Trump promise him like dollars for, SpaceX? Did he get promised like...
Right. And it's not, I would imagine that whatever he is giddy about it's not personal shit.
Dude, is it the Trump thing? No, like it's going to be some dumb shit. Is it the Twitter purchase? Is it the fact that, hey, I bought Twitter because remember he was saying like, I feel like we're at a space now where we have to protect free speech.
Yep.
And the social media platforms are all run by left and they have influenced the left and they're influencing our elections. And so I'm preserving free speech by buying Twitter. And I'm not saying that's what he did, but that was like sort of his mindset going into it was I want to preserve free speech. I'm going to buy Twitter. He's going to have these community notes. He's going to not ban people. He's like, I'm going to let everybody talk. I don't care what you say. It doesn't mean that it's right, but we'll have this like the checks and balances become the community notes feature, which Facebook, by the way, has now adopted as well.
I haven't seen those.
Yeah, Facebook is now adding community notes, and by the way, Zuckerberg has come out now and said like, "Hey, we're not gonna fucking censor you anymore. We're just gonna have these community notes now." The same thing. Yeah, like even Zuck is like on board.
So what are the community notes?
It basically, like if somebody says like, "Hey, this cup is made out of glass from Mars," you'll get people who can be like, "Actually, that cup is made out of glass from there," and in facts, and then you can have sort of like the community, if you will, agree on what the facts are, and then you can read it to go, well, actually. So if somebody goes, hey, Trump hates trans, you can be like, people can contribute news articles and actual like academia and all that stuff to give you the facts about it. Like, actually, there hasn't been an article to, and then you get, and then so it's like anything that has like a fact to it, they can basically fact check you.
Yeah.
And so what had started was Facebook was using these fact checkers, but they were employees of theirs, which we've already known that like, hey, you can't really trust these guys. So now the community notes, I think, is like, I think there's supposed to be an unbiased form of it because it is while it is community based, I think it's like a collection of people who are supposed to be checking this stuff. Yeah. And so X started that, or Twitter, and then now Mark Zuckerberg had like a whole fucking press conference announcing that he's doing it because he's realized like, oh, this is the way to go. Also, I'm not censoring shit anymore. I'm not like they completely done a 180 on what like what their sort of policies have been over the last 4 years.
And that shit is not by mistake.
No, bro, no. But so I was wondering, like, is Elon? Does the excitement come from? I overpaid for Twitter and I got into all this stuff, but I knew I could influence this thing, and look what I was able to help achieve. If you think that he helped achieve, like Trump's win, right? Like there's some people who think like without, right? Like maybe, dude, there's a part in Trump's speech where if you're someone, a conspiracy theorist that believe like the election was rigged, let's say, where Trump, like I think his comment was something like, nobody knows these machines like Elon. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. Nobody understands these voting machines like him. And it's like, if you read between the lines or you try to read too much, it's like, fuck, is he saying that Elon manipulated the voting machines? And it's like, or is he just telling you, hey, these things work this way and here's like campaign strategy? So like, right, because if anyone's gonna figure some shit out that's based on algorithms or based on like data and based on like consumer behavior, it's gonna be that guy, right? So yeah, I don't know. I'm fascinated to see why the fuck he was so excited, bro. Like, you know how hard it is to get an autistic kid excited without fucking dinosaurs. This shit is amazing.
Well, the other thing that started this year, man, is the new generation. So we have 2025 introduces Generation Beta. All right, so
fitting.
Yeah. That's good.
Soft ass kid.
So it's supposed to be for 15 years, 2025 to 2040.
Okay.
All right. What I found interesting, man, was I went back to the generation that started in like 1901.
Okay.
And they called them the greatest generation.
The one that started in 1901.
Correct.
And where does it end?
1927.
Okay.
So about 26 years, right? The next one was the silent generation, 1928, 1945.
Okay.
As I'm going through these, what I found interesting was that every generation had a major war.
Oh.
So the greatest generation, so from 1901, 1927, had World War I.
Okay.
The silent generation, 1928, 1945, had World War II.
Okay.
The baby boomers, 1945 to 1964, had the Korean War. Gen X, 1965 to 1980, had Vietnam. Gen Y, or millennials, you guys had the Gulf War. 1981, 1996. You had the Gulf War.
That's how long that. So if you were born between 81 and 96, I get you're a millennial. The Gulf War ran from when it's like late 80s, right?
It was like late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
I want to say it might have been early 90s.
It's weird because you don't hear about that one. Like it's almost like it was a little conflict.
Yeah,
you don't hear about it in terms of like a war.
See, like the thing was like when I joined the Marines, I joined them in '94, so the Gulf War was over by then. But guys that I served with served there. So that, for me at least,
so you get a different perspective.
I was like I knew that, right? So
like I like when I think of war, I think of World War I and World War II and like Vietnam and all that stuff. And you hear the stories. I don't know why, but like when I hear Gulf War, it almost, and it's not to belittle it by any means. I'm speaking more of like the way it was sort of taught to me, or like my perception of it was like almost like, oh yeah, this was like this little conflict that we had, and not to say little because people didn't die, but it was like it wasn't looked at as like a major war. But yeah, no, it lasted years. I'm saying it's fascinating to hear these things because like I wouldn't have like been like, oh yeah, the Gulf War was the war during my generation. Like it would have taken me a long time to think of that.
Yeah, and then after that you got Gen Z, 1997 to 2012, the war in Afghanistan that lasted 20 years.
That's how long the Afghanistan war was, man.
2001 from 9/11.
Okay.
To 2021 when they finally pulled all the guys out.
I don't even look at that as a war. I'd be like, yeah, we invaded these dudes at some point. Like I almost look at it as like a hostile takeover that wasn't a takeover.
Yeah, but it's still a war, right?
It's still no. That's not to say to belittle it, but it's interesting. Like I'm I guess interested to see how history looks at that, right? Because living in it in the moment, I don't look at it the same way I look at World War II when I look at history, or like World War I, or even Nam or Korean War. Like I just don't see those in the same light, but maybe it's because I'm in it and I don't, and the proximity to it, right? Like I don't live somewhere where it's actually happening.
Right. And I think that's the thing, man. So, World War I, World War II, like after World War II, the United States did a phenomenal job of doing everything out of here. Korean War, that's over there. Vietnam War, it's over there. Gulf War, it's in the Middle East. the Afghanistan war, right? It's over there.
Yeah, because World War II just touched Hawaii, but not
still,
really.
Still U.S., right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. It touched Hawaii, so we felt attacked.
Yes,
right.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then in the war in Afghanistan, by the way, stretched from Gen Z through Gen Alpha.
Oh wow, that's right. Because it was 20
years.
We just left, right? 2 years ago, you said?
2021. So 4 years ago now.
Wow.
So now we saw in Gen Beta. We'll see.
What's going to be the big conflict?
Right, what's going to be the conflict?
Yeah, what's the one popping off now that's most imminent? Does Ukraine, Russia count? Does that invasion count as a war?
I mean, I don't think that's not a war that we're involved in. Other than financially, right? Financially, weapons and things like that. But I don't think
you classify it differently. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah, is it fucking...
So in the next 15 years, just as history has served us, right? There's probably going to be another conflict in the next 15 years.
Oh, it's going to be us taking
that
Greenland.
Will.
We just got to go to Greenland, bro. But we can take this by force. Or or we can fake have an election that you guys say that you voted to become American citizens, become the 51st.
Take it how you want it.
Or we could send the boys. You pick. Oh man, yeah. Fuck, dude. I wonder what's gonna be. I don't know that. I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I'm not smart enough to articulate this right. I don't know that humanity can survive a major conflict, if that makes sense.
You mean like a nuclear war type shit? Or
I just think a war. I think it works in Afghanistan because we just go and we invade, and you're sort of you keep it to there, right? I don't know that you could have a major war.
Where people are attacking.
Yeah, like us in Russia. We're
and...
fucking shit up. I think that's catastrophic. I think somebody's going nuclear. So somebody's going. I don't know that humanity. I think it would be a catastrophic event where it's millions of people would die.
Right.
And being almost like a reset on Earth, because I don't know that I think that the weapons are so advanced now that I don't know that you would survive. Dude, think about what we could do to most small nations if we wanted to.
Of course.
And so, does that in itself avoid major conflict? And then just egos get involved, and then you get the big boys involved, and then we just go, bro, we can just go fuck you up, right? Whoever says that, right? I'm just saying, it could be Russia and us and China and whatever. It's so I feel the next iteration of war can't be that way, because I think there's too many casualties that either side isn't willing to lose. Right. And so does it become financial, or does it become cyber? Does it become it's I'm just gonna cripple your economy? It's probably the biggest thing. Do I take down your internet and all that stuff and prove that you guys can't survive without
your internet, your power grid?
Yeah, is that theater? Because I don't think we could survive a conflict in the same way we have. And listen, maybe everyone has said that over the last thousands and thousands of years, and somehow we figure out, but I just don't see us having conflict in that same way. You don't even need to have a soldier in with an actual boot on the ground anymore, right? Because some guy in a pro now fucking control playing a video game basically for him. It's and it's not to minimize what he's doing, but it's
but
it's so I'd be really curious. It's what's that thing gonna be? It's gonna be strange, man.
So those of you who are having kids this year, Generation Beta is born.
Yeah, fucking A, man.
All right, what you want to get into next, bro?
Ooh, we got we're hitting the hour mark, so
we are.
Yeah, dude. NFL. I guess we got to get into predictions for Super Bowl. What do you want to? What did you think of these games this past weekend? Who do you think is going to Super Bowl?
Oh man. So first of all, the games this weekend, Baltimore and Buffalo.
Yeah,
that was probably the game of the weekend for me.
Oh, it was great because Baltimore lost.
I knew you would say that. But I felt so going into that game, I really thought that Lamar Jackson, based on his numbers for the year, should win MVP. And I don't necessarily disagree with that now, but going into that game, him and Josh Allen, at least as far as the critics are concerned, were neck and neck.
Yeah.
And so I was going to that game going, whoever wins that game wins the MVP.
Yeah.
Right? And then obviously Buffalo Bills win. These guys just fucked up. I mean, the drop passes, the fumbles, like they cost the game. They cost themselves the game.
Yeah, dude, but they did, and I would say like that's the difference between performing under pressure and not. Like you said, Mark Andrews drops a pass that he catches 99% of the time.
99.9.
The moment, bro. It's what separates, like the greats, the goods and the greats, and the legends from the greats.
Yeah.
And it's like your performance under pressure when it matters, like. And there's a million reasons why he could have dropped that pass, right? Like concentration lapse, overthinking, like I better make sure I secure it. Maybe he's thinking he's going to get hit, whatever. Maybe he doesn't know where he is in relation to the end zone. He's turning around to make sure that he's there. Like who knows? The fact of the matter is like in a regular season game, Mark Andrews probably makes that catch 99.999% of the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not a knock on him as a player. It's like this is what separates these guys. Is like you said, dude. I think I think before when the game started, it was something like Lamar had only thrown 4 interceptions all season.
Bro.
And they hadn't had these many turnovers. And they start the game. What do they get 4 in that game? And so it's like, dude, the moment it's like, yeah, sure. Every one of those games wasn't the divisional playoff round. It's like the AFC Championship. It's like, yeah, sure, you can perform, you can do well. Like, what happens when it matters? And you see some people like elevate, and then some people just fall apart. And it's
So who you got, man? You got Kansas City and Buffalo this week, Sunday, AFC Championship.
Man, my gut tells me Buffalo.
Yeah,
yeah. I think we're gonna see Buffalo. There's something different about
that team.
It's also why I would, and like I obviously I'm a Ravens hater, but I think Josh Allen, if you're going to give it to one of those two, let's say it's one of those two, I feel like Josh Allen should get it because I think that Josh Allen has less to work with than Lamar Jackson does. That's not to minimize that Lamar Jackson isn't as talented.
No, absolutely.
He's great, but, like he's a good athlete, and he's a good quarterback. But I think that Josh Allen there's something that he's been able to do with a lot less talent, with of a team around him that isn't as good.
Yeah.
And so I think when the award is like most valuable, it's like who was more valuable to their team. I think Josh Allen, if you take him off that team, I don't even know that that's a playoff team. I think the Ravens team has demonstrated in the past with that management and that coach and all that they can win with whoever. Right? Like, not to say that they'd have an MVP quarterback, but that they could win a Super Bowl. They won a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco. Like, it's like...
And
Trent Dilfer. And, it's like, and that organization, again, as much as I fucking hate them, very well run. They draft well. They put together, good teams. So it's like, and it's not a knock on Lamar. It's Lamar also... He's incredible, but he also has a very incredible sort of supporting cast.
Yeah.
I don't know that Josh Allen has that in Buffalo, is what I would argue. I can't name you a single wide receiver on the Buffalo Bills. I can't name you their running back.
Me either.
I can't name you a single player on defense.
The running back is Dalvin Cook's brother. James Cook?
You know him as Dalvin Cook's brother. I rest my case.
I think it's James Cook.
Yeah, it's like you can't name that. Dude, the other part of this is like, and I've said this for fucking ever, and it's why I will never pay a fucking diva wide receiver if like I'm a GM and it comes up. It's like Stephon Diggs was, again, phenomenal talent. Diva wide receiver. Absolutely. They do not matter to win a Super Bowl. Do not. Wide receivers don't fucking matter. I don't like I'm almost convinced the better you are and the more noise you make, the more Odell Beckham Jr. Like the flashier you are, the Stephon Diggs is like you're a locker room problem. Like it's like get the fuck out. Like I don't need you to win a Super Bowl. Like Brady didn't win a Super Bowl with a wide receiver we could name. Fucking Patrick Mahomes. Name the wide receiver on Patrick Mahomes that isn't Travis Kelce, and he's not even a wide receiver. He's a tight end. It's like and he's done it with a revolving door of wide receivers. Patrick Mahomes has won Super Bowls with. The Ravens.
Did he win with Cheetah?
Yeah,
they did. Right, they won one.
Yeah, they won one,
and then Cheetah left.
And then he left, and then they won another one. So it's like they did it without him. It's they got to one without him. I'm pretty sure before too. So it's like they just
they won 2 without him, right?
Yeah, that's right. So they won 2 without him. Yeah, you're right. So again, it just goes back to like I don't know. You don't have to pay these guys $100 million contract. They don't change your team.
Dude, I saw this. When was Stephon Diggs on Minnesota. I think it was
2015.
It's like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I saw this video recently. It's probably an old video. Well, it is an old video. Where a guy goes around the Minnesota Vikings locker room when Stephon Diggs was on the team and asks random players, Dalvin Cook being one of them, yo, who is the teammate that you will not let date your sister? Bro, it is damn near unanimous. They all stay Stephon Diggs.
Almost all of them?
Yeah. And one of the dudes is just like, yo, Stephon is not one of the dudes you bring home to mama.
Yeah.
So it's like, no.
Yeah, no. Yeah, and again, it's like amazing talent.
Yeah.
Great wide receiver.
Yeah.
I don't think they matter when it comes to winning a Super Bowl. It's like, do you want to be flashy and have like this guy who's going to sell a bunch of jerseys and you get more airplay, you get some plays on SportsCenter that week, top 10? Cool. Do you want to go win championships? Because it doesn't, go build an O-line, go build like, dude, the Eagles got, AJ Brown, obviously phenomenal wide receiver. They're not winning because of him. It hasn't been because of him. And if they don't, then you could end up making an argument. It's almost like, no, I don't want to say it's because of him, but it's also the like he wasn't the difference between not winning it and winning it.
Right.
So Buffalo. There's something different about, I think, Josh Allen and the way I've seen him, and maybe that's the looseness of not having the personality in the locker room. It's like he feels more comfortable being a leader, stepping, I don't know, whatever it is that he just looks, that team feels different this year. And dude, the Chiefs are going for history. I think the other thing that makes me a little hesitant on the Chiefs is like they haven't really been blowing teams out
all year.
They just been winning, and it's like, and then in the playoffs they had a great performance against Houston.
But they just do enough.
They just do enough.
I'm going with KC, bro.
I wonder if like that's going to be enough with the Buffalo team this year, because I think Patrick Mahomes is 3-0 against Josh Allen in the playoffs, but he's like 1-4 in the regular season. But I wonder if this
the Bills
is
beat them this year.
Yeah,
they did.
They did. So it's like the.
Oh, they're the only loss, right? They're the only loss.
I think so. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. But dude, I just feel like Mahomes in the moment, right? It's almost like Tom Brady.
Yeah, he's
like,
so good. Yeah.
Prove me wrong. Like I wait for you guys to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
And so
have you seen how far ahead of Brady's? And I know we do this a lot with athletes. We become prisoners of the moment of. We start the comparisons and the GOAT things and all that. Have you seen how quickly Mahomes has gotten his Super Bowl rings and his playoff wins in comparison to Brady?
Not in comparison.
Dude, he's like 5-6 seasons already ahead of Brady.
Oh, really?
And like he's gotten to the amount of playoff wins he's gotten to now, like 5 years quicker than Brady did. He's gotten to, I think, the Super Bowls, I think 5 or 6 years quicker than Brady did. He's got, it's like, and who knows? He may never win one again. They're hard, right? Like, but it's really crazy to see like the trajectory of his numbers right now. It's like on pace, and the comparison is the GOAT, just Tom Brady right now. It's like he is outpacing Tom Brady by a lot right now. Like, and that's probably not sustainable, right? There's going to be a dive off a cliff there.
What does Brady have? 7 Super Bowls?
Yeah. 7 Super Bowls, but 10 appearances or like something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, it's bananas.
Good luck breaking.
Yeah. Right.
We'll be watching.
Like he might fall off a cliff and then never does it again and still had like if Patrick Mahomes retired after this season, he would still be considered one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. And he's like 28. It's like he still has a lot left. Hopefully, right? So
if he wants it.
But and then who do you have on the NFC side?
All right, so NFC side. Commanders at Eagles, which Jaden Daniels has been insane.
Yeah.
Right? So you hear something about Jaden Daniels with VR? What's going on with VR?
I didn't know. The story's weird because I'm like, why haven't we heard about this yet? But it's like the big story this week was Jaden Daniels made it sort of like a contingent on any team that he added a contingency on any team that drafted him had to implement this VR software and had to use VR in his sort of like game prep. And it dated back to, I guess, when he got to LSU.
Okay.
Jaden Daniels, I think it was at ASU at one point in time, and he wasn't great. I think he was at Arizona. Wasn't great.
I didn't know, man. He played 55 college games.
And he got benched and all this shit. And then he went to LSU, and then he had an injury. And then somewhere in there, like there was a German company that developed like VR training for soccer.
Okay.
And I don't know how exactly the connection was made, but essentially he used it. And what they can do is they can load the entire entire team's like every defensive scheme that's ever existed ever.
Okay.
They can load then that team's like habits and in situations and all that stuff. And then he basically can put on the headset and run through these scenarios, and he's seeing it.
Get the fuck out of here.
But not only is he seeing it, they speed it up to 1 3/4 speed. So he's seeing it faster.
Double.
So it happens, double the speed almost.
Wow.
Everything's happening. So he's making his progressions. He has to react, right? And so the thing almost, it's like you ever see the Formula One drivers and they're doing the thing where they're smacking the lights and stuff. It's almost something similar to that, where he's doing that and he's going through progressions, and he does this, and they say he does this like every morning, and for that week it's that team. So he's seeing that team's defense. He's getting
all week
hundreds of reps before he's even stepped foot on a field.
Okay,
all week.
Why is nobody else using this?
I just don't. Maybe people are. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, why is the whole season gone by and now we're finding out?
Right.
And is it? Are we only finding out because it's worked and then they're like, oh, now we can talk about it? Versus because also he's saying it's been the difference between him being like a quarterback that was almost benched in college, to a quarterback that went on to be really competitive at LSU and was obviously a great player. Almost won a. Did he win a national title with LSU? No, he won a
Heisman.
I think he won a Heisman. Yeah,
he didn't win.
So he won. Yeah, that's right. So he won a Heisman. And they're giving a lot of credit to this. And then, dude, and then to have the confidence to say, if you draft me, because he wasn't projected to be a first round pick. I think he was projected to be like later first round, maybe, but then more likely second or third round initially.
And I was gonna say, because when the draft came about,
he just had that sick like 2 months at the end of his but then he but to then go out there with the confidence to say, like, if you're gonna draft me, you have to implement this. It's like, fuck you. You don't have to do anything. You're a kid. Right. But to have that confidence in the software or in that technology that helps you out. So when they've asked him about it, he goes like, when I get on the field, I've already seen it. He goes, and it's so much slower in real life.
Oh, wow.
It's wild. So he's like, so
it's the opposite of what you say when people come to the NFL, right? Everybody's fast.
It's fast. He goes like, I'm seeing it, and it's happening way slower than it happens in a simulation. So it's like, oh, I can react. And it's so funny because I think you and I have talked about this, where we're like, dude, he looks so poised and so confident and so comfortable. And and that's like the one thing. It's like, hey, man, I don't care how good your arm is. It's like, if you're not, there's like some quarterbacks that you see year one and they may have an atrocious season and you're like, he looks comfortable though. He'll be fine. He'll figure it out. Like the game's too fast for him.
Yep.
Him, it's been like, fuck, man, he looks comfortable. He looks poised. He looks like he's reading defense as well, which explains it. Like he's making changes at the line, that you don't get to rookie quarterbacks. He's
coming in clutch at the end, man. Yeah. And he's gone further than any rookie
ever, right?
Yeah, so far. And the guy could make it a Super Bowl.
I'm going to pick him to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah? So do you think it's Commanders and Buffalo? No, man. I think it's the other way. I think it's Eagles, Kansas City. So we will see.
Yeah, we'll see
next week.
And I will tell you this. It's not just because of him. I trust the supporting cast in Washington more than I trust Philly. I trust the head coach in Washington more than I trust the head coach of Philly. I trust.
Okay.
Super
Bowl. Both coaches been in Super Bowl, right?
Dan Quinn took the Atlanta Falcons to Super Bowl, and we don't talk about it because they blew that massive lead,
right,
to the greatest quarterback of all time. It's like,
no, they should have
run away with that Super Bowl and murdered that. Yeah, absolutely. Like, there's no excuse for blowing that. But I think people treat Dan Quinn like he was a trash coach. It's like he got fired like a season later. It's like, how do you go from Super Bowl to getting fired is beyond me. But we grossly underestimate how good he was. Also, the Cowboys defense has dramatically regressed the last season.
Oh, since he's been
they
gone?
Lost Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator. It's like, this guy clearly knows what he's doing, and he's a defensive-minded coach, and he's brought in Cliff Kingsbury, who's been a great, I think, partner with Jaden Daniels and all that stuff. I just trust that coaching staff more than I trust Philadelphia's.
Okay.
And I trust the supporting. I trust the wide receivers, and they're young. I shouldn't. But they also have Eckler, who's a nice veteran. He's not, so it's like I don't know why.
Don't they have like the old Eagles tight end or some shit?
Yeah,
Zach
Ertz. I feel like if it comes down to a possession, I feel like I just trust that.
Dude, I will say this, man. If you're the Eagles, don't be down by less than a touchdown and Jaden Daniels has the ball.
You're fucked. Yeah, right. Like, I think if you're the Eagles, the way to win this game is like get ahead early, and then you can do what you do, which is run the ball.
Right.
If they make you throw because you're down 2 touchdowns, it might get ugly.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah. Because if you force Hurts, and that's not. I mean, Hurts has played well. But I think if you force that team to then pass them all, you make them one-dimensional. That's not what they're comfortable doing. and and Dan Quinn again, defensive mastermind. So
Let's see, man. It should be a fun. Should be a fun.
Because the first week of the playoffs fucking sucked, and this last week was actually good. The games were entertaining.
Yeah, they were.
We'll see, man. This will be. I did not expect Washington to do that to Detroit.
No,
like holy shit, man.
Me neither.
And again, if you score 30 something in a playoff game, normally you win, right? Like Detroit put up 35, right? 32.
Those 31.
Okay, yeah, you put up 30 in a playoff game, 30, you should win.
Yeah.
That's insane. So it's not like the people want to be like the line's choked. It's like, I don't know, man. You scored 31 points, you should win a game.
Yep. Or be damn close.
Right, and you just ran into this.
And got fucking right. Was it 45 to 31?
And it wasn't close for like a long time. Yeah. It's just like. Yeah, you just ran into this like a historically good team right now, and bro, has any team ever turned around this much? I don't think I've ever seen a this drastic of a shift in the Washington.
Not in like 1 year like that,
right? That's what I mean, like from last season to the next,
and 1 year with like almost like a whole totally new staff, right? New staff, new rookie QB, man. It's
they went from having like the third or fourth pick of the draft last year, right? They were like bottom 4 or 5 in the league, to top 4 or 5 in the league the folling season. I don't remember seeing that. Yeah, that's wild.
No, man, good for them, man. Yeah. Good luck to all 4 of those teams. Let's see. I think this weekend is probably going to be better than the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
But I don't know. Let's see.
You might be right, man. You might be right. I think it depends on the matchup for sure. But I don't know, man. Washington, Buffalo may just be a shootout indoors in a dome. Jaden Daniels gets to go back to Louisiana.
That's right. Oh, it's in New Orleans.
It's in New Orleans. Yeah.
Shit.
So
okay.
It might be. I don't know. Like that. I think would be the most entertaining matchup.
Yeah.
I think Philly KC might end up being like a boring. Like it'll be one of those like 20-17. At the end kind of thing.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. But I could see Buffalo and Washington being a track meet where it's a 34-31 kind of 40 to 42-35 kind of.
Yeah. You probably can't go wrong with any of these 4 teams being in there.
Yeah,
right, man.
For sure.
I know we're getting right on time. Let me hit you up with this real quick.
Do it.
It's this quote, and I don't know if it's from a book or what, but it's from Daniel Hopewell, and he says, "People are strange. They'll lose it over a lukewarm coffee, a slow driver, a delayed train. But when it comes to the big stuff, the years slipping by, the dreams they let rot, they barely flinch. Maybe it's just easy to throw a fit over the small stuff, vent it out where it's safe. Because what's the alternative? Admit the train delay isn't the real problem? Realize you don't even want to be on that train? That you're headed in the entirely wrong direction? Because that's the truth, isn't it? Half of us are so busy raging at the small stuff, we never stop to see we're not even on the right track."
Preach.
So on that, tell them where they can find us.
At the Carbon Food Podcast on IG, at Carbon Food Podcast on, we're back on TikTok, damn it, let's go. TikTok's
we ain't
back.
talking about that shit.
That shit was off for like a day.
Not even a few hours.
Not even, it was like a few hours. Definitely a political move, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Carbon Food Podcast on Facebook, on YouTube, and then everywhere where you get your music or your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, JioSaavn, TuneIn, Podchaser, Amazon Music, Audible, smart devices. So we're on all of it, man. So
and as always,
like and subscribe.
We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Peace.
Peace.